All right, let's dive into something pretty powerful today. We're going to be looking at how photography can be like this incredible tool for healing. Especially, we're focusing on Black men in this case.
Yeah.
And we have this fascinating document all about a program that uses photography to help Black men process, some really heavy stuff.
Right.
Societal pressures,
absolutely.
racial injustices, personal struggles, all through the lens of a camera.
Yeah, it's really interesting how art can be like this safe space, to unpack those experiences, especially when, sometimes traditional therapy might not feel like the right fit.
Totally.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's not just like some, arts and crafts kind of session. This is a structured program with specific photography projects.
Oh, yeah.
Designed to help these men tap into their emotions,
Yeah.
And find their voice.
It's a very intentional approach. It's not just about, learning how to take a good picture.
Yeah.
It's about using photography as this means of self-discovery and expression.
Okay, so let's rewind back to 2014.
Okay.
There's a woman named Sheena Garcia. She starts a photography class at a local senior center.
Okay.
This wasn't your typical, photography 101. Her students were older adult men, and a lot of them had been through like incredibly tough times.
Right.
We're talking about some had spent time in prisons or been involved in gangs.
Yeah, and that context is so important, right? Because for these men, sharing their stories through art could be a way to kind of reclaim their narratives.
Totally.
Redefine themselves on their own terms.
And Sheena was really focused on encouraging them to use photography, as a tool for storytelling. And the results were incredible.
Yeah.
They ended up creating their own photo book.
Wow.
And even launched a talk show.
Oh, wow.
Called Endless Possibilities. Now that's taking action.
That's amazing. What strikes me is that she didn't just kind of, stumble upon this approach. Yeah. She was really drawing upon a growing body of research that shows the therapeutic benefits of art, particularly, for processing trauma and improving mental health.
Well, and speaking of that research, our source material actually mentions studies that show how art therapy can help people cope with PTSD, reduce anxiety and depression.
Right.
It's really amazing to see, science backing up what artists have known.
Exactly.
For centuries.
Or forever, yeah.
Right.
And it's not just about, feeling better in the moment either. Studies show that photography specifically can help people develop better self-awareness and communication skills, which are essential for long-term healing and growth.
So how did Sheena take all this research and turn it into a real-world program?
Well, she designed 10 specific photography projects.
Each of them had a specific focus and intended outcome.
Yeah, and each project is really carefully crafted to help the men explore different aspects of their lives and identities.
Right.
It's it's a really insightful way to connect creativity with personal growth.
So let's start with the first project, Portraits of Strength. And this was all about empowering the men to capture portraits of each other.
Okay.
Showcasing their strength and resilience. They would work in pairs, taking turns photographing, and really thinking about how they wanted to be seen.
And think about the impact of that, especially for Black men who are so often stereotyped and misrepresented in media.
Totally.
This project gave them the chance to challenge those stereotypes and present themselves to the world in a way that felt authentic and empowering.
And it wasn't just about, snapping a photo. Some of them even wrote reflections or stories to go with their portraits.
Oh.
Adding another layer of depth.
Yeah, and that act of writing can be incredibly therapeutic in itself, right? It allows them to process their emotions, connect with their inner voice, and create a tangible record of their journey.
The next project was Everyday Life documentary. And this one was all about finding the beauty and meaning in the everyday.
Okay.
So they photographed their neighborhoods, their families, their daily routines, the stuff that makes up their lives.
Yeah, it's like a visual reminder that even amidst challenges, there's still so much to appreciate and find joy in,
Yeah.
It's about shifting your perspective and finding those moments of beauty that often go unnoticed.
Totally. They turn the ordinary into something extraordinary.
Yeah.
Compiling all these photos into a collective photo book.
Right.
That showcased, the unique stories of Black men in their community.
And that photo book becomes a powerful tool for storytelling and representation, right? It gives voice to a community that's often overlooked or misrepresented. Yeah.
Allowing them to share their experiences and connect with others on a human level.
Okay, get ready for this next project. Urban landscape and storytelling.
Okay.
It involved using the city as a canvas for expression. So they photographed parts of their city that held meaning for them. But, you know, it wasn't just about pretty pictures of buildings. They were capturing emotions, memories, you know, their relationship with their environment.
Yeah, this project goes beyond just aesthetics.
Yeah.
It really touches on the complex relationship between people and their surroundings.
Yeah.
Right. And for these men, you know, the city was a source of both struggle and inspiration, and they used photography to explore those complexities.
They weren't just documenting the city. They were using it to tell their own stories, to express, you know, their joys and their sorrows, their hopes and fears.
It's a way of reclaiming space.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Of finding their place within the urban landscape.
Totally. And of sharing their perspective with the world.
But we have self-portraits as reflection.
Okay.
Where they use photography as like a mirror, you know, to explore their own identities. And they, you know, got creative with lighting and framing to, you know, reveal different facets of themselves.
Self-portraiture is such a powerful tool in art therapy.
Yeah.
You know, it can be challenging to confront your own image, but it can also be incredibly liberating.
Yeah.
You know, and by taking control of how they're represented, these men were able to kind of redefine their self-image and challenge the way society views them.
It's about saying, this is who I am, and I'm not afraid to show it.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, and that act of self-acceptance is so crucial for healing and growth, right? It's about embracing your flaws and imperfections, recognizing your strengths, and celebrating the unique individual that you are.
Then there's photo collage.
Yeah.
And this encouraged the men to explore their personal growth. But by contrasting past and present experiences through photography. So they'd bring in old photos.
Oh, wow.
Combine them with new ones to create visual representations of their journey.
It's a beautiful way to see, you know, how far they've come, the obstacles they've overcome, and the resilience they've shown.
Totally.
It's a reminder that even amidst adversity, there's always hope for growth and transformation.
And it's not just about, you know, individual growth.
Right.
This project also really fostered a sense of shared experience and community connection as they reflected on their collective journey.
That shared experience is so vital. You know, it creates a sense of belonging, understanding, and mutual support.
Yeah.
It reminds them that they're not alone in their struggles and that they can draw strength from each other's stories.
And that brings us to street photography, capturing human stories. They learned to capture those, you know, raw, candid moments of life in their community. They'd hit the streets with their cameras, documenting the energy and diversity of their surroundings.
Street photography is all about being present, observing, and capturing those fleeting moments of beauty or intrigue that often go unnoticed.
Totally.
It's a celebration of everyday life and the stories that unfold around us.
It's also a way of challenging the way we often view urban environments.
Right.
You know, these men weren't just focusing on the grit or the grind. They were capturing the vibrancy,
exactly,
the resilience, the humanity that exists in these communities.
It's a powerful reminder that there's beauty to be found everywhere, even in the most unexpected places.
Yeah.
And it's about using photography to kind of shine a light on those often overlooked stories and perspectives.
Then we have theme-based photography challenges.
Okay.
Where they explore different themes, like, you know, resilience, joy, or legacy through their lenses.
Yeah.
And this really kept things, you know, fresh and exciting, giving them this framework for creative exploration.
And, you know, structure and guidance can actually enhance creativity.
Oh, totally.
Right.
Yeah.
By providing themes, Sheena was able to kind of direct the men's focus, encourage them to delve into specific emotions and experiences. It's like giving them a starting point for their artistic journeys.
And the discussions they had after each challenge were just as valuable as the photos themselves.
Yeah.
You know, it was a space for reflection, dialogue and mutual understanding.
It's about going beyond just creating art.
Right.
It's about processing those creations, reflecting on their meaning and sharing them with others. That's where the real therapeutic power lies.
Next up, healing through nature, urban green spaces.
Okay.
And this encouraged them to find peace and inspiration in nature. Even, within the city, they went on photography walks, capturing, the tranquility of parks, gardens, any green spaces they could find.
This project speaks to the restorative power of nature, even in urban environments, Studies have shown that exposure to nature can reduce stress, improve mood, and even enhance cognitive function.
It's like a breath of fresh air for the mind and body.
Exactly.
We all need a little dose of nature therapy every now and then.
Absolutely.
Especially when you're living in a bustling city.
Right.
It's easy to forget, the beauty and serenity that nature offers.
Yeah, it's a reminder to slow down, connect with your surroundings, and find those moments of peace amidst the chaos.
Okay, ready for a project that gets really personal.
Yeah. Storytelling
through objects.
Okay.
Challenge them to use personal items or storytelling devices.
Interesting.
So linking, tangible objects to their intangible memories and emotions.
Yeah, it's a fascinating way to explore the meaning we attach to objects.
Right.
Yeah. And how those objects can become symbols of our experiences and identities. Yeah. It's like each object holds a story, a memory, a piece of their personal history.
They photographed items that, held significance for them. Adding this layer of narrative and emotional depth.
Yeah, think about the power of that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Giving voice to objects is like giving voice to their own unspoken stories. It's a way of connecting the past with the present, the tangible with the intangible, and creating a visual representation of their inner world.
And finally, we have legacy photography, honoring heritage.
Okay.
Where they explored their, their cultural and familial heritage through photography.
This project is all about understanding your roots, your history, and your cultural identity, right? It's about acknowledging the legacy that has shaped and the connections that bind you to your ancestors and your community.
They photographed, family heirlooms, cultural traditions, and places that connected them to their roots.
Yeah.
Some of them even, delved into old family albums, reflecting on those stories passed down through generations.
It's a powerful reminder that our personal stories are intertwined with larger historical and cultural narratives.
Totally.
Right. And by exploring their heritage, these men were able to kind of place themselves within a broader context and connect with something larger than themselves.
So there you have it. 10 incredible projects that go way beyond just teaching photography skills.
It's really inspiring to see how art can be used to address such profound issues.
Yeah.
And help these men find their voice and reclaim their narratives.
But there's so much more to explore.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't even touched on the specific research behind art therapy or the importance of culturally relevant approaches.
Exactly.
So stay tuned, because in the next part of our deep dive, we'll be going even further into the science and social impact of this incredible program.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. It's amazing how Sheena just intuitively tapped into something that researchers are now confirming.
Yeah.
This power of art as a therapeutic tool, especially for, groups who might not always have access to or even feel comfortable with traditional therapy.
And, our source material actually dives into some pretty fascinating studies that back up everything we've been talking about.
Oh, nice.
Not just anecdotal.
Yeah.
There's real science behind this.
Yeah, there's one study, the role of art in the therapy. And it really highlights how art can give us this way to express what we sometimes struggle to put into words. It's like, a different language for emotions and experiences.
That's like those abstract paintings that, maybe don't look like anything concrete, but they make you feel something.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
It's tapping into a deeper level of communication.
Exactly. And there's another study that looks specifically at photography.
Okay.
The use of photography in art therapy, a narrative review. And it found that taking pictures can be particularly effective for encouraging self-reflection and making it easier for people to open up, especially those from marginalized communities.
Which makes perfect sense when you think about it.
Yeah.
Taking a photo forces you to be present in the moment, to really see your surroundings and then make choices about how you want to frame and capture what you're seeing.
Right. It's an active process that engages your mind and your emotions, and the act of creating something tangible, a photograph, can be incredibly powerful in the healing process.
And this research really shines a light on why Sheena's program was so successful.
Right.
Remember those self-portraits?
Yeah.
Those weren't just about, taking a good selfie.
Right.
It was about using photography to confront societal perceptions.
Exactly.
And reclaim their own narratives.
And those urban landscapes, too. They weren't just pretty pictures.
Right.
They were about processing their complex relationship with their environment, expressing both the beauty and the challenges they faced living in their city.
Sheena clearly understood how to harness the power of photography as a therapeutic tool.
Yeah.
And designed her program to, really maximize those benefits.
Absolutely. And the research goes beyond just individual benefits.
Okay.
The source material also mentions studies on the impact of community art programs, finding that they can lead to, significant improvements in mental health, especially for marginalized groups.
That makes so much sense when you consider that sense of belonging and shared purpose that comes from creating art together.
Right. It's like you're building this support system,
right,
while also, expressing yourself creatively.
Absolutely. And for these men, who may have experienced isolation or exclusion, having that community is so crucial.
Yeah.
It creates a space where they can be themselves, share their stories without judgment, and find strength in each other's experiences.
And, let's not forget the importance of cultural relevance in any kind of therapy.
Oh, absolutely.
Art therapy included.
Yeah.
The source material mentions the impact of cultural identity on art therapy. And this study highlights how understanding cultural identity is key to making art therapy more effective for specific communities.
Right. And this is another area where Sheena's program really stands out. She intentionally created a space that was sensitive to their cultural background and experiences as Black men.
Right.
It wasn't just about art in a vacuum.
It was about creating art that resonated with their identities and struggles.
It was about providing a platform for, authentic expression.
Yeah.
And allowing them to connect with their heritage in a really meaningful way.
Exactly. It's not just about teaching photography. It's about using art to facilitate healing, self-discovery, and community building. It's about recognizing the unique challenges and strengths of this particular group and giving them the tools to thrive.
And the source material also cites the healing power of art, exploring the effects of art on racial identity development and healing.
Okay.
Which, really emphasizes how art can be this vital tool for exploring and expressing racial identity.
Especially.
When facing societal pressures and systemic racism.
And that resonates so deeply with everything we've been learning about this program, These men have faced countless challenges simply because of the color of their skin. To have a space where they can process those experiences through art, to challenge perceptions and reclaim their narratives is incredibly powerful.
It's about reclaiming their agency, finding their voices,
right,
and using art as this tool for healing the wounds inflicted by racism.
Yeah.
It's about creating beauty out of pain.
There's one more piece of the puzzle that's really crucial to understand. The power of group dynamics in art therapy.
Okay.
The source material highlights a study called Group Art Therapy, a tool for social and emotional learning. And it talks about how group settings can enhance, social skills, emotional regulation, and community building, especially in diverse groups.
Think back to those photography challenges where where the men came together to share their interpretations of perspectives.
Yeah.
It wasn't just creating art in isolation.
Exactly.
It was about engaging in dialogue, supporting each other, and learning from one another's experiences.
That shared creative process creates such a strong sense of camaraderie and empathy. You know, it's a space where people feel seen, heard, and validated.
Totally.
Which is so essential for healing and growth.
It's like the act of making art together becomes its own form of communication.
Yeah.
Right? A way to connect on a deeper level without even needing words.
And remember those amazing outcomes?
Yeah.
The photo book, the talk show, you know? Those weren't just happy accidents. Right. They were a direct result of the men's collective creativity and willingness to support and inspire each other.
It really speaks to the power of community, of shared vision, and the incredible things that can happen when people come together to create something meaningful.
It's a reminder that healing doesn't have to be a solitary journey.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's about finding your tribe, you know, surrounding yourself with people who understand and creating something beautiful together. Sheena
created something truly special.
Yeah, she did.
By weaving together art, therapy, community, and cultural relevance. It's really inspiring.
It's like a blueprint for how we can use art to empower, heal, and connect, especially those who've been marginalized or silenced.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of this topic.
I know, me too.
You know, there's so much more to explore and understand.
There is. In the final part of our deep dive, we'll shift our focus to the broader implications of this program and explore how art therapy can create lasting change. We'll dig into how photography can be used to amplify marginalized voices, challenge societal norms, and inspire social action.
So we've been exploring this amazing program where photography helps Black men heal and find their voice. Now, I think it'd be interesting to kind of like take a step back and consider the wider impact.
Yeah.
You know, like how does this connect to bigger issues like racial justice, the power of storytelling?
It is incredible how something as seemingly simple as a photography program can touch on such profound societal issues.
Yeah.
It really highlights how art can be a force for change, especially for, for those whose stories are often marginalized or overlooked.
Remember that study, Photography as a Tool for Community Building and Social Change?
Yeah.
It emphasized how photography can empower communities to, take control of their own narratives.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're seeing here.
Absolutely. These men weren't just learning technical skills.
Right.
They were crafting visual narratives that challenged the way Black men are often portrayed.
Yeah.
They were reclaiming their stories and showing a more nuanced, authentic view of their lives.
Think about the impact of that photo book they created.
Right.
It's like a visual counter narrative to the often negative images we see in media.
Yeah.
It's like saying, this is who we really are.
And it goes beyond just challenging stereotypes. It's about presenting these positive representations that can inspire and uplift.
Right.
Those portraits of strength weren't just about good lighting.
Right.
They conveyed a sense of resilience and dignity that can be incredibly powerful for both the subjects and the viewers.
It's like those photos are saying, we are here, we are strong, and we have something to contribute.
Absolutely. And by sharing their stories through this visual medium, they're creating connections with others who might have had similar experiences, building bridges of understanding, and inspiring others to find their own voices.
It's like this ripple effect, starting with, personal healing and expanding outward to create a more just an equitable society.
And it reminds us that art isn't just about, aesthetics or self-expression. It can be a powerful tool for social change.
Totally.
It can spark conversations, challenge assumptions, and mobilize people to take action.
So where do we go from here? How can we take these insights and make a difference in our own communities?
Well, it starts with recognizing the power of art. And supporting those who are using it to create positive change.
Yeah.
We can seek out art that reflects diverse perspectives. We can support organizations that promote arts education. And even just talk to our friends and family about, the importance of representation in the arts.
And let's not forget, our own creative potential.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you don't have to be, a professional artist to use art as a tool for healing or connection.
Right.
Pick up a camera, write a poem, dance, whatever sparks your creativity.
Exactly. Embrace your creative side and see where it takes you. You might be surprised by what you discover about yourself and the world around you.
This whole deep dive has been so eye-opening.
It has.
Art isn't just something we passively consume.
Right.
It's something we can all participate in, something that can connect us and help us heal.
As we're wrapping up here, I'm left with a sense of hope and possibility. If this photography program can have such a profound impact, imagine what we can achieve when we embrace the transformative power of art collectively.
Here's a final thought for you to take with you.
Okay.
How can you bring more creativity into your own life? What stories do you want to share with the world?
Keep exploring, keep creating, and never underestimate the power of art to change the world.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the healing power of photography. Until next time, keep those creative sparks flying.